Hello friends and welcome to the Creative Ramble, a podcast brought to you by me, your host Ross Pollock, in which two friends hang out and chat about absolutely anything. The conversation could go in any direction, so sit back, enjoy, and let us ramble on for your entertainment about video games, comics, animation, movies, and just about anything in the creative arts. For this episode, once again, I am joined by my podcasting BFF, Eric Gibbs.
Hey buddy, what's up?
I honestly thought this show was dead and it was like gone into the ether forever.
Between COVID and my computer, it tried to kill me. Everything tried to kill me to get this episode. This episode, it deserves its own, whatever the podcast equivalent of the Academy Awards needs to happen just because this moment.
Yeah. This show could be our Frankenstein's monster. We're resurrecting it.
Thank you for getting that right, by the way. Thank you for getting that right, by the way. I saw a toy the other day and it was Frankenstein. I was like, I lost my crap with Tara. I was like, oh my God, that's not Frankenstein. It's Frankenstein's monster. Like, get it right.
Yeah, he was Dr. Frankenstein. That's the problem. Yeah.
And she's like, it's for a kid. And I'm like, well, you know what? The kids need to know what's going on. So there we go.
Yeah. I've got a new chair as well. Look at this. Hold on. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to stand up so you can see it. Look at that.
Oh, that's dude. Can you send me one?
Look at that.
I want one.
The bat. So, apologies, audio listeners. You're going to have to hit the YouTube channel to actually see what we're talking about. But I have a bat chair. Secret Lab.
Yeah. You know what I need? Okay, if we get anybody from DC, I need a Flash version of that. Flash is my favorite character. I need a Flash chair. Or if Marvel's listening, a Miss Marvel chair. I'm cool with that too.
But which version of Flash would it? Is it CW's Flash or is it Snyder Cut Flash?
Before the Snyder Cut, I would have said probably CW. Now I'm kind of happy with him even more that we've seen more of him. Like I'm excited for the Flashpoint movie now. Like, yeah, he's a good actor. So I don't know. Still Ezra Miller, yeah. I'm still not really happy with the like segmented things on him. It makes sense. And they have met each other too. The CW one and the Ezra Miller Flash got to meet each other in the crossover event for CW. So I mean, big time nerd with this. Trust me.
Totally. So if listeners, viewers, if you haven't already guessed, this show is going to be about the cut of a movie that we never thought was possible.
Yeah. Absolutely. What was it? 3 years, 4 years in the making because of a petition? 4+ years, I think.
Yeah.
It was so weird watching this movie. And by the way, can we just say spoiler alert ahead of time and just talk about it? Because it's going to be too hard not to like just.
This is full spoiler chat. Yeah, full spoiler chat. So
it's a 4-hour movie.
Yeah. The Snyder Cut, of course, Justice League, that's what we're talking about. And this, I know everybody was thinking it was still going to be a car crash of a film, just a longer, slow motion car crash of a film.
Which, I mean, okay, I will admit, I'm not the biggest fan of some of his movies. Some of his movies I do like. I actually like his version of Watchmen. But a lot of his movies I'm not a big fan of just because they don't do a lot of good character development and it's very pretty, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And
he does have a history of doing very stylistic music video-esque movies.
Yeah.
Like Sucker Punch is the abomination that comes to mind. Even though it's very visually cool, But then he'll give us something like Man of Steel or Watchmen, which Man of Steel, for the most part, I would say like 85-90% of that movie is just brilliant, just gorgeous as well, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, then very like shallow, I would probably say, like not terribly deep in terms of character motivations or characterization necessarily, but visually just incredible.
He tends to move things a bit too quick, which I think is something we can talk about in a minute, about the 4-hour cut. And I think he might work better in almost a serial like a TV series or like a limited series or something like that format than he does. And because like I don't know. We'll get into it. There's so much to unpack with this movie. It's which I didn't expect for a movie that we thought we saw, 4 years ago, that we could turn around and unpack with as much as there is. Because there still is a lot that was in the original, but
yeah,
there's a lot that wasn't.
Okay, so your initial thought of the film, what did you think of it?
It's essentially what, especially from Snyder, what I wanted originally. I have, I love Marvel movies. MCU is definitely one of my favorite things that has ever existed in entertainment. I love the TV shows, the movies. I love Marvel Comics, but DC has just not gotten it right. And I think them trying so hard to be the MCU, at a certain time, screwed them over. And I don't know what I was expecting when I came into this. I didn't know if it was just going to be, okay, there's Darkseid, blah, blah, blah. But when I came out of it, I was like, okay, can we just say screw it and give him some money and continue those 3 movies that he wanted to do? Like, I want to see them now. Like, it's actually interesting. And if you look, there's a pretty good consensus that, oh my God, this is a good movie. So
what did you think? It really is. I was super excited to hear that we were getting this based on all of the trailers that were getting teased, all of the new footage that had been rumored about and obviously had been teased within the teaser trailers and such. I sat down to watch it pretty much in one full sitting.
Wow, you're better than me.
And honestly, I freaking loved it. Yeah. Now, there are caveats to me saying I love this film because there are a lot of Snyder tropes. There are a lot of like really bad moments, bad decisions, things that could easily have been excised from the cut entirely. Like way too much slow motion stuff, like way too much over the top.
But then
stuff.
he would speed. He sped up stuff, like the Wonder Woman scene where he saves the kids. They speed that up in such an extent that I'm almost like, where is she? She's almost the Flash.
I know exactly, but overall, I thought it added so much to be coherent throughout. The action flowed a hell of a lot better. The motivations were more clear and concise. Absolutely. I loved that we got a proper backstory with Steppenwolf. And even Steppenwolf, I know the CGI was completely overhauled and redone, and it shows because he was really cool. Yeah.
Oh,
and
his armor.
His armor just constantly shimmering and moving and pulsing. And his entire motivation that was added to this cut, I thought was great. And it really made me like super interested as to, what the heck did he do what did he do to Darkseid? And obviously we're getting Darkseid quite heavily featured in this cut. But Cyborg, of course, is the main heart of the film, really setting up and establishing Cyborg's connection to the mother box. And his powers as well is really, really clear and really well done. And we get more Ezra Miller. We get his first meeting with Iris. Loads of stuff. And it is the stuff that, yes, all of this should have been set up as standalone films before we get to Justice League. I think that's pretty clear. Exactly. But we didn't get that. But what we did get was we got this epic 4-hour miniseries, and I always refer to it as a miniseries, and I always recommend it as a miniseries to people. It's like, don't go in thinking this is a theatrical movie. It's not that at all. It is a piece of film in a miniseries kind of format that works really well for home video distribution, like really well. And even the way that Zack Snyder has not bookended it, but chaptered it. There's like 6 chapters within the epilogue, and it feels like a 6-part miniseries, and I think it works really well because of that. Really well.
I do too. That's why I was saying though. I think the man would work much better in doing limited series like that. And it is such this. The cool thing is, a couple of years ago, the Snyder Cut, hashtag, save the Snyder Cut or whatever, started. And none of this would happen if two things wouldn't happen. AT&T, becoming the giant with Warner now, and two, with HBO Max.
Yeah.
And this is such a weird, almost like, I'm wondering if this is a test bed of things that we're going to see. They've gone out and they've said, okay, we're not doing the Ayer cut for Suicide Squad. And I really believe anytime soon they're not going to.
No.
I would like to see it because I've heard there's so much more to it. But being that there's a Suicide Squad movie coming out in a few months.
But that's the difference, right? Yeah.
Yeah. There wasn't a Justice League movie coming out anytime soon. But now that we know that the Flash movie's happening, is definitely happening. It's Flashpoint. Ben Affleck's going to be in it as Batman. 89 Batman. Michael Keaton is going to be in it.
Yep.
They're really, really at DC into the multiple dimensions thing and all this kind of stuff. There's no telling. Maybe some of those guys will pop up in the Flashpoint, maybe in another something else. I mean, we don't know where they could go, but they set up some chess pieces that I really want to see what happens to them. That Joker, I want to see that entire, like, I feel like they would almost be like the Logan of Batman movies, having Joker and Batman going across a wasteland together to try to stop. Like, dude, that could be epic and something we've never seen. And as DC fans, comic book fans, and movie fans, we're at that point now. We kind of are craving those things that we haven't seen yet or seen before.
Well, we got a glimpse of not just what a good Joker Jared Leto can deliver, but also a very different relationship that we've never seen before with Joker and Batman. Yeah. Where they actually have to join forces, kind of, but also there's this line of communication between their relationship, which has never been put to film before.
No.
And and that moment, I know we're jumping ahead plot-wise, but we're kind of jumping all over the place.
We'll go back and forth.
Yeah, but that line that Leto's Joker says, where you shouldn't have sent a boy to do a man's job, and even before that, where he's talking to, as he calls it, fish stick, which is Mira.
Oh, that was great.
It was so funny. But he says he knows about loss because and he rhymes off a couple of things like parents, adopted son. And he's like, and damn, that is harking right back to Batman v Superman, where he's got Jason Todd's suit just there with the ha 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 all over it and the graffiti. You're thinking, man, there is so much to unpack and so much that could still be explored between these two.
I'm actually very excited for the Batman, the movie that's coming out sometime. They've officially finished filming it because they posted it all over Twitter like a week ago.
Yeah.
Because of COVID, it got shut down like 3 times.
Yeah. Everything goes
I'm really excited for that movie, but there is a part of me that wants the Batfleck, like the whole, like the death in the family done, like with Jared Leto's Joker and all of that. Like part of me really wants to, and I know there's a love-hate relationship with Leto's Joker, but I'm sorry. He shows that he can do it. Mm-hmm. It's just, it was a matter of how it was cut in Suicide Squad. And that scene with the plane, with the playing card is just phenomenal to me. It's like one of the best Batman scenes and Joker scenes I've ever seen on film. So
yeah, because it was like the metaphor for a truce between them. As long as you've got this card, we're kind of like, we're not going to try and kill each other or double cross each other. Yeah, it was a very powerful scene, and it was part of the epilogue, which is wild.
It's so, and it is really funny. We'll go all the way back in just a second, but it is funny. The very last scene of the movie is clearly the Ben Affleck. I've been through therapy. I'm doing much better. I look clean. Ben Affleck, because he's like, it's totally like 2020 Ben Affleck, you can tell. But
is that what you mean at the very, very end?
the very, very end, when he sees, you could totally tell that is not the Bruce Wayne Ben Affleck that was like 4 years ago when he was having
drinking,
yeah. And so it's kind of funny. It's like he looks like almost 10 years younger than that version. So it's just really funny. But I going back to the beginning of the movie, even the beginning was so much more. It set up the tone. We got the weird in the Josh Whedon version. We got that weird mustacheless scene.
Well,
with the kids filming the blog,
that
and all
whole
that
social media stuff about Superman. I know,
and part of me, and okay, I'm gonna put this out there. Joss Whedon, at one point in my life, was like up here as far as I can't see where I was. Up here as far as like nerddom goes. Like, I mean, I respected the man quite a bit. As of late, not so much from what I'm understanding. But you can clearly see the differences where he decided, okay, we're going to try to make this more like a Marvel movie, and this is you can clearly see the differences. And it is funny though, because there were so many funny scenes in the original cut. I was like, oh, that's a Joss Whedon moment. Yeah. That's definitely a Joss Whedon moment. And there's definitely was the lasso stuff was him and
the Flash falling on top of Diana during the battle.
Yeah, that was which happened in Avengers, I think, if I remember right too. Like
a lot of Age of Ultron stuff that leaked over into the Whedon cut of Justice League for sure.
And I'm just like, hell, that's happened in Buffy and Angel as well. And I'm a huge Buffy and Angel fan. But then I realized when I'm watching this, none of this was shot by Joss Whedon, and there was like a ton of humor, like a lot of humor that I was like, why did they cut this stuff? It was funny already. Like it was already funny. Like it was already, especially the Flash, it was already light and in certain areas and dark, and Batman didn't have to say stupid lines to make him sound funnier because he's Batman. Why would he do that?
I honestly thought this cut of Bruce Wayne was far superior to, and for many reasons actually, but specifically the Justice League of 2017 versus this Justice League. Batman in the Whedon cut feels like he's an alcoholic. He's picking fights with Diana. There's a lot of. I know. I get it. I understand where that's kind of coming from, but the point that they made Bruce Wayne and Wonder Woman really antagonistic toward each other, because he attacks her in that version about not being a hero and not helping for like 100 years and stuff, and the loss of Steve Trevor, and she pushes him and like hurts his chest at some point and stuff. It's a whole other through line as to that relationship.
But then there's this weird almost sexual chemistry between them too during all of that, and you're like, oh come on, just like
But I preferred the relationship in this cut because it was way more respectful. They were heroes. They had a common goal to unify this team of disparate heroes for this cause, and it wasn't about like individual like bickering or fighting or anything like that, or him just knocking back whiskey after whiskey to get his body working.
Just after, if you look at the scene when the Flash is like, are you guys all? I don't want to say it. Are you guys all thinking what I'm thinking? And then Cyborg like shows the image of Superman, and they're like, they all agree. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna bring him back.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that there's not like a couple of them going, no, don't do it. Don't. I mean, that's just no. Obviously, it's either gonna work or not work. You got to try it. And so I enjoyed it. We had to say goodbye to the villagers next to the power plant, all that stuff. And so
good riddance to that.
I'm guessing we'll never know what happened to them now. And I like the fact that they explain why he builds what that thing inside the power plant. It's because it's toxic, and that's what they thrive on and live through.
Well, when we first saw that,
two lines they could have said.
Well, yeah, when we first saw Steppenwolf going there because of the radiation and toxicity, we immediately thought, oh, he's gone to Chernobyl. That's what we originally thought, like the nuclear meltdown site.
It pretty much is.
It pretty much is. It may not be literally there, but it's like, okay, so it's a nuclear meltdown site. So it's high in radiation, it's high in toxicity, so his base has to be there. So of course there wouldn't be any need to evacuate a village because nobody's lived there for 50 or 60 or 70 years. So yeah, it didn't make any sense, and it just felt really cheap and a way to weirdly dispose of Superman in the original version, which is so bizarre.
Incredibly, I was so bummed at the time, but it makes me incredibly happy. Josh Whedon was trying to write a Batgirl movie.
That's right,
and I'm so glad that he's not doing it now.
It's the difference, right? It's the difference between what works for a Marvel movie and what works for and what DC needs. It's very, very different, and it doesn't really cross over well.
I honestly think just let him do his own stuff. I mean, the thing is, a lot of people don't realize, like, he was a script doctor. That's where he got his start, Joss Whedon. Mm-hmm. He even worked as a script doctor on the Indiana Jones and the third one, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Last Crusade, yeah. Oh,
yeah. So I mean, he was, that's where he got his start, and so I think that's what they were thinking is, okay, Batman versus Superman wasn't what we wanted. Let's bring him in and change it. And I mean, he did. He did, and we found out how much changed. And this is actually, if you're a fan of film, this is actually a really good study in like studio involvement and how things can actually change from your original vision.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm super impressed.
But it's not just like tonally or different scenes that radically change the flow or the tone. It goes right down to the color grading across the movie as well. It gets massively aesthetically different as well as the previous one.
Even when you see the little you do get to see where Superman actually is towards the end has the traditional Superman suit, not the black suit.
Yes,
it is so vibrant compared to normal. And I'm just like, oh my God. I mean, part of that, I gotta say, Batman, in the original Man of Steel, I had an issue with a little bit of that color grading. I kind of wanted the vibrant a little bit more, but that's just me. I'm kind of a purist when it comes to red, white, and blue. But it was really, really, really interesting too. Also, Mike sent me a message and he was like, "What's up with the aspect ratio?"
That's flummoxing so many people online.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, I have a big TV and I don't even notice it. Like, it doesn't bother me. Yeah. And then I even watched part of it on my phone. And I was like, whatever. I was watching Babylon 5 and it's almost the same damn aspect ratio.
It would have been right. But the difference, of course, this is shot for IMAX screens that you can
I can't wait to watch it on it.
I know that you can then easily just cut into for your home widescreen 2.25 to 1 aspect ratio, 60:9, all this crazy aspect ratios. Yeah.
I just now I kind of want to see him cut Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman into the same way, and we just get this giant series of things like just
the Batman v Superman. There is an Ultimate Edition of that.
Yeah, it's much better,
and it's much better as well because it's about 3 hours. Yeah. And here's my quick question, side note for you on the length of Justice League Snyder Cut. Do you think we could have gotten the same movie that we got in this 4-hour cut, but obviously 4 hours would never work for a theatrical cut, although I know they are planning on releasing this theatrically at some point with an intermission. But if it had been like 3 hours to max 3.5 hours, Do you think that would have worked really well in a theatrical setting?
There's stuff they definitely could have cut. I think some of,
but without cutting too much. At my point, because it needs the room, it needs the length for a lot of stuff that is put in there. But there's a lot of stuff that could have been chopped out as well.
Personally, even though I love this scene, especially now because it's so violent, the scene with Diana and the terrorist, that literally could be cut. It especially since we know what she can do already.
She just kills him. She just clashes her gauntlets together. She obliterated him.
Can we talk about Steppenwolf? That is so overkill. That was the best overkill I have ever seen.
Which part?
Superman punched him.
Oh, yeah.
Aquaman stabbed him.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman cut off his head, and freaking Darkseid smushed his skull. I was like, okay.
Well, Darkseid didn't really like him anyway. He didn't.
No, dude, it's like HR would get involved with that somehow.
But even before that, when Steppenwolf first appears in Atlantis, and Mira starts draining his body fluids out, and you see the blood coming out. It's like, damn, this is R-rated, all right.
Oh yeah, and can we talk about the scene we get to see of Darkseid using the Omega beams underwater? That was just that
was cool.
Please, that's what I want. I want to see that, but all the superheroes, I kind of want the end of Endgame to be kind of moment.
They're all doing well. That's what Justice League 2 or 3 would have been, right? The
3 probably, yeah. 3.
Darkseid is here, Thanos style, with his full armada, and then all of the heroes need to unite. Maybe obviously new heroes will get added to the mix as well.
The assistant, the guy that's the assistant.
It's Ryan something.
He's on the Star Labs assistant. He's actually the Atom.
Yes,
he becomes the Atom. They bring up, John Jones, obviously Martian Manhunter. A Lantern is going to pop up 1 or 2 in that, and then blah 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 kind of thing. You had, just the ending alone. It showed, weird mix up and matchup of all these different characters, and that's what I love to see. And so I was just like, oh my god,
yeah. That one thing,
again, going back to the beginning, the whole intro where Superman is getting stabbed with that bony thing, and the kryptonite thing. Anyway, him and Doomsday are dying basically, and he screams, and it starts the mother boxes going.
I thought that was so cool. Not at the very beginning, because they didn't really know what was happening. It's is it his sound waves are doing something? I knew that, but when they explain it to bring back Superman, and that rationalizes why bringing back Superman is so vital. The mother boxes are afraid of Superman because the Professor, Cyborg's dad, activated one, and the mother boxes didn't do anything because there was a Kryptonian on Earth. And the mother boxes are scared of Kryptonian. But with Superman gone, that is when the mother boxes could awaken. And you're thinking, oh, that was just never explained. And it's such a really essential but really cool plot line that the level of explanation, usually exposition, drags a movie down, massively, halts it in its tracks. But here, I just was enriched by it. I was watching it thinking, man, this is so interesting, and I was just riveted to understand everything, that they've got this breathing space. Okay, too much breathing space maybe, but to really explain everything, which again we keep going back to, had they done it properly with individual movies, this would have been explained as individually. But the fact that we've got this 4-hour cut to explain all of this, I'm thinking, man, this is so cool.
Well, it's like the, Aquaman. I liked Aquaman. I thought it was a fine movie. I really enjoyed it.
It's fun for sure. Yeah,
it's fun. I like Shazam. I think a little bit more. I think that was more. I think, but when you're dealing with the Atlanteans in this movie, they're chirping like dolphins and all this kind of stuff, and then they'll and it's just if they had done Aquaman first, we would have in place, okay, that's not what happens. This is, why doesn't she have an accent? Why does she all of a sudden have an accent? I mean, there's little things like that you're like, oh, yeah, I wish my brain didn't work this way. Because
there's continuity issues for sure.
Yeah.
Because it took me back when it's like, why are they not talking when underwater?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, they're doing these kind of schools and suggestions, and then they have to like part the water to then be able to talk. I'm thinking, it's actually really, like, as a concept, it's actually really cool. But for cinema practicality, it's just the wrong decision, I think.
No, I like the whole Juan way of doing it, his version of underwater things and Aquaman. But I do like the fact that we get a little Defoe like that. Well, at least that's such a weird, to me though, just cutting Defoe out of a movie.
I know, but I mean, so again, we're talking about continuity between like the Aquaman standalone film. That's not how he gets his trident. And if you think about this is why, sadly, this is why this cut of the film can never be canon, is because it doesn't line up with like anything.
Yeah, it's pretty much its own thing.
You know, he doesn't get his trident that way. Willem Dafoe doesn't give him his trident in an Aquaman movie. And even that throne where it's like the statue of his father holding the trident, there was that huge Kraken monster that was defending it in his standalone movie. Whereas in this one, it's set up that he just comes here to kind of like, not meditate, but it's quiet and it's peaceful and he just likes to come here. So there's massive plot holes abound like crazy, but you just kind of have to like
you have to
elsewhere that stuff, right? Just like,
this is its own. Well, I mean, now that there's going to be a Flashpoint movie, they could always just like, you know, just a different timeline. There's two bat flags. So one that looks like you went through therapy. And not to knock out, I'm very proud of the guy for doing all that you know, all the stuff he had to go through. I mean, the dude was going through a divorce during the middle of the original movie. I can't even imagine. Yeah. But okay, going back again to that Joss Whedon / this thing, there's a scene in the original theatrical cut where Batman is going through the rooftops, which I still to this day like the scene, but it doesn't.
Is that where he's hunting the parademon? Like the very
he's
beginning,
the parademon, and they smell fear. Yeah, and that's kind of a knockoff. That's almost verbatim from like the New 52 comics when that New 52 happened in the reboot and all this kind of stuff. Justice League that had an entire thing that basically that scene happens. I think it's even in the animated, the animated one too. And so I was like, it's kind of cool to see in like real life. But like, I so much prefer the death cry. Like that death cry scene is just, it's just amazing. Yeah. And then you get more time with Lois and the mother, Martha, which isn't Martha, but whatever.
I honestly, I lost it there. I lost my shit. I went, no way! They've got Martian Manhunter in it. And then like all along, that general from Man of Steel is John Johns.
Yep.
It's like, oh, that's so cool. It's so good.
It's so cool that they've been like...
But it was strange, though, as to, like, so why did he disguise himself as Martha to get Lois out of her funk?
It also makes me wonder what weird things he does on his spare time. But
why was that so important? Is it just to... get her back to doing what she does best, doing journalism? And
well, everyone keeps saying she's the most important thing, and you know, she's literally Superman's Achilles heel. Like, you can pretty much do anything else, and he'll be just like, "I'm Superman," but you obviously you do something to her, and you know, whatever. My guess is Darkseid. She's dead. Darkseid tells Superman, "Hey, look, if you do my bidding, I can bring her back."
Oh, you think that's what it is? Interesting.
That's my theory, but I don't know. But that would be a very.
I mean, Superman is the nightmare visions of the future. He's done a lot of like really horrific stuff for that to be the reason. I thought it was because the I forgot it. The anti-life equation was him controlling Superman.
That's probably what it was too.
But I don't know. It could be anything.
The whole anti-life equation thing has always been really weird to me, and like it's just been kind of like, okay.
One thing I want to throw at you, because you probably know the answer to this, because I was just enjoying the movie, but Jess picked up on it. So at the very well, not at the very beginning, but when we first see the first epic battle of Darkseid on Earth, and all of the kingdoms are coming together. So he's found the anti-life equation because that's what the big scorched Earth symbol is, right?
Yeah.
Right. So did he just forget that it's there on Earth?
His GPS lost the coordinates. That's the only thing. Like that's because I've had this discussion with probably 20 people online. It's
I know he's conquered a lot. I know he's conquered a lot of worlds, but he just forget the primitive planets there.
It would be like he lost his car, the mother boxes, and like the parking lot the size of freaking the Astrodome. Like it's just like you're not gonna like I don't know where it is. I don't have the little thing for him. So I don't know. Like again, who knows?
It's up in the air. That one is okay.
That's one of those things. Is like okay. I mean, he got his rear end handed to him. Obviously, maybe
amnesia.
He was out cold.
Maybe it was amnesia or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe I don't know. I do love the fact that he cut a Green Lantern's hand off. Like that was great.
He tried to grab the ring as well, but the ring wasn't having it.
Yeah, the ring was like nope. And so we got our first Green Lantern since the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern, and so
the masterpiece that was. Yeah,
the masterpiece that was by the way. He did a on Twitter. He apparently has never watched the movie. He watched it like on St. Patrick's Day and did a live tweet with it. Oh my God, that was great. He was drinking the whole time. and I would highly recommend because that movie. Okay, it is a not good movie. I'm never going to defend that movie because they basically the evil thing, the end boss is a giant testicle. I'm never going to fight that. I'm never going to defend that movie. Yeah. It's never going to happen. It's a big problem with DC movies which this movie I absolutely loved. This is one of the reasons for it is because the bad guy doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't make sense. And so this movie, you finally find out why Steppenwolf is doing what he's doing. He has better lines. He's scared to death of Darkseid.
Yeah.
And for good reason. And there is a reason for everything that gets done in the movie for the most part. And I think that's the thing that I like the most about this.
Yeah. Yeah. And we get a proper payoff for bringing Superman back as well. Like his whole entire end scene when he joins the battle is just okay. Now you're in trouble because Kal-El's here and he's gonna mess you up, and he does brilliantly. He burns the armor off him, and then he cuts his ear off or his horn off.
Or his horn. I forgot the line that when he hits him with the thing, and I'm just like I forgot that line. The line is great.
He says like I'm not impressed or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not impressed, and I'm like. Oh my God. So, but it also making him not the actual big bad of the movie, Darkseid's the big bad, makes him disposable as hell. And so I like the fact that they can basically throw they're gods.
Yeah.
That's the thing people need to remember is like Marvel characters for the most part, it's us that get superpowers.
Yeah.
It's like if your next door neighbor all of a sudden became, did telekinesis and I could freaking, had claws that came out of my hands. And so that's how they treat it. It's like it's everyday people that get superpowers. Most of the time, especially in your major league DC characters, they are gods. Mm-hmm. They are living gods. And so to see a fight that looked like living gods was really nice to see that they just didn't hold back. The fact that Wonder Woman in that one scene basically punches a guy and becomes nothing. Like it's just, that's the stuff I want to be. And I hate to be the whole, like, DC has to be R-rated, DC has to be dark, because I don't think it has to be, but it's nice to see every so often.
Yeah.
Like,
and
see that.
I liked, and I know what you mean by the tone is like, oh my God, it's so dark, it's so depressing all the time. But for this one, there was levity, but it wasn't
a lot.
It wasn't a lot because of the grave situation that they're facing. And I think it works really, really well. And that's where we come back to the Marvel style of like flippant comedy.
Yeah.
In the face of world-ending atrocity. It kind of works in the Marvel setting, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work in DC at all.
Well, Spider-Man does his quips. Everybody does their little quips, and that's a way of dealing with that. Like me, if I had superpowers and I'm dealing with the end of the world, I probably would be joking my ass off because that's my personality, is like to deflect.
Yeah.
But like these people are gods that have had powers for a very long time, and so.
Yeah, but there was one.
Flash.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I was going to actually call out one of the funniest Flash lines in this one is like where they're digging up Superman, and so first of all, he says we could do this in like a nanosecond, couldn't we? And he's like, yeah, but it's more like about respect that they're doing it here. But then he goes, Wonder Woman, and he says it like that, Wonder Woman. Do you think she'd go for a younger guy? And Cyborg just says, she's 5,000 years old, Barry. Everybody's a younger guy. Just thought it was brilliant. It's like that works. Like that really works.
Yeah. Well, the whole scene with Aquaman and Barry, like with the hats. Should I wear this hat or this hat?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't like the first. Go back to the first hat. And I was just like, those little scenes of like camaraderie with these people that are fighting for the end of times. I love that stuff.
Well, that's the team coming together and forming like a bond. And it was really funny when Superman, when he first comes back and he doesn't really know who he is, or so he's in like fight or flight mode. Right. And Barry's charging toward him. Aquaman's charging it the other way. And Superman just sidesteps and gives Barry a little flick, like to get him out of the way, and he crashes into Aquaman, but then it cuts to them at the end after the encounter, and Aquaman just points at him because it's like, you're the reason that we're smashed into a bunch of concrete steps, and he's like, I know, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. It's that relationships that are getting established. They work so well.
I tell you what, I did miss. There are some scenes I do miss. I kind of do miss the lasso scene. I do think that is a funny scene. But like when he says on Aquaman says on lasso, and the very last scene, the credit scene where Superman and the Flash are racing.
Okay,
like I do miss that scene. Okay, that scene's a great scene.
Yeah. There's one scene that I do miss, but I've come to terms with what we got is totally fine, and I actually like it.
Oh yeah,
and it's where there's lots of them, I know, and it's where Batman actually has a little bit of a mentorship scene with Barry, because Barry's freaking out about saving the hostages. It's like I don't know how to do this. All I do is push people and run away, and Batman's just like just save one. And then just save another one kind of thing, and just take it like there. So that's completely excised from this cut. But at the same time, it's still kind of in there because Barry's very funnily is dodging this blaster fire from one of the parademons, and he's like up against the wall like this, and he runs behind the parademon, and he just kind of pushes him, and it doesn't look like anything, but then the parademon just goes like, "Wah!" flying through the wall and gets crushed. You're thinking, okay, so it's still kind of there that he doesn't fight, he just kind of pushes and runs away, and that's exactly what he does. And then he doesn't actually save anybody, like from the Whedon cut. He's actually moving people away. He doesn't do that. He's just like running up and down the stairs, making sure it's all clear. And it's like, can you guys hurry up? This kind of thing. But then he has that superhero moment at the very top when he, the roof is crashing down, and he gets all of the debris out of there. He doesn't move the people, he moves the debris. Well, so he's doing all the superhero stuff, but it's not the traditional like saving everybody stuff. He's doing
right
doing it around that stuff.
he does get to do the Superman save the run around just like in Superman whatever movie that was, where he reverses time and all that kind of stuff. So we do get as one of my favorite characters, the Flash. It is good to see him, and it makes me very excited to see the movie, the Flashpoint movie now. So I don't know, dude. There's like 4 hours, so there's so much we can talk about. But overall, it is a far superior cut to the theatrical version.
I think so as well, and I think we'll probably have a proper blow by blow on a future episode. But this is just our kind of like overall thoughts of to what we liked, what we thought didn't work. There was quite a lot, like the scary like singing Finnish girls at the beginning scene. That could more. You need more sweater sniffing. That's definitely the so bizarre.
What does Aquaman smell like? I did need to know that because she's just like, and then she goes back to singing, and I'm just like, couldn't have smelled too bad, I guess. I guess not. Maybe it's entranced or something. I don't know. Yeah, it smells of bourbon and fish. Yeah, and fishes. It's like, I don't know. Yeah. So
one thing I will say though is that for the most part, what didn't work for me was the choice of songs. Like the choice of songs just didn't work at all for me.
Okay, the one with the Flash I liked. There was a few. Yeah, it was weird to hear the music. It is different too because it's a completely different score.
Yes.
It's not the Danny Elfman thing, and Danny Elfman was definitely like tapping into like Batman when he did his. And I love Danny Elfman. Danny Elfman's one of my favorite composers. But like, I kind of dig this score a little bit better. But yeah, some of these song choices I could see where. It would be head scratchers kind of thing. And some of it I wonder too.
I'm trying to think. Do you remember at all? Like, do either of the heroes, other than Superman, because Superman's theme is so good, you get goosebumps whenever you hear that.
And Wonder Woman's the same.
Yeah, Wonder Woman's the same. But I wouldn't be able to place any other hero theme at all. I
think what'll have to happen is because Aquaman, I can't place Aquaman, a theme for Aquaman. There's been an Aquaman movie, like other than maybe like like maybe
it's the dolphin sounds. That's the theme. It's the dolphin squeaks there.
I'm willing to foe. Like I don't know. Like Aquaman noise means music. Flash definitely needs his own score. Which I'm hoping, but yeah, when they play, and they'll play it slow. They'll do some of I noticed that they would do some of these scores really slow and really melodic and all this kind of stuff. But I guess maybe the Aquaman score is whatever is the whole sweater sniffing scene.
It could be. That's his theme song. Yeah,
just like. And when you hear that, Jason Momoa is just going to come out of the water and like attack. So,
Mama,
Mama, be my wife, yeah. So
I don't, but
I think my wife would probably smell Jason Momoa's sweater. Oh, she'd be okay with that. So
I think most people would, yeah.
I think even I would. It's like he's a badass. So we'll, you and I need to go to Iceland and reenact that entire scene is what we'll do. So yeah, but yeah, no, that would be overall.
We could do that. Get a couple of like fake body tattoos and a wig on or two. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, as long as I get to be Aquaman, because everybody wants to see me shirtless. Trust me, that's a fantastic. You gotta be the hairy Aquaman. They're like, are there yetis in the ocean? So how did that manatee? Yeah. How did that grow so much hair? But we definitely need to also talk about all the TV goodness of WandaVision and
Mandalorian season 2. We didn't talk about any of that at all.
We need to kind of recap that, and then the Winter Soldier.
My 600-pound life.
Yeah, we're not doing My 600-Pound Life.
No.
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 90-Day Fiance.
Now, go.
We've got a heckler from off camera.
Yeah, my wife is like her shows 90-pound. Like I'm waiting for her to have like I don't know. I can't even say the shows that I think that she would probably. She watches a lot of murder shows.
Oh, Buried in the Backyard.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, I also want to talk about The Expanse as well, because we've been watching that. We're on season 4 now, so I want to do a series breakdown or something of that would be really good to talk about.
Yeah, because I'm down for that. I was one of those people that didn't watch it when it was on Sci-Fi, and then it moved over and binged all of it because it was that. I think the first couple episodes are kind of slow. They're really slow.
They are, yeah.
And then once you get past that, you're like, okay, and I know what this show's about. I totally know what this show's about. And then it goes right. And then you're like, oh, whoa, this show's not what I thought it was. And each season, it definitely changes course.
Yeah. So we'll maybe do like by season or something like that. It would be really good fun.
Oh boy, that's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch them.
Yeah, it's amazing. So anyway, let's quickly wrap this one up. So
yeah, absolutely.
Ladies and gents, listeners, viewers, as you've no doubt heard, the Creative Ramble is back. It's been 6 months. We did 23 episodes last year. But we're properly back for more geeking out of TV, animation, movies, and just good old rambles. So thank you for watching. This is the start of a whole new season of podcasts on the Creative Ramble. Until next time, take care.
Bye, guys.